Hey guys, it's Lauren, the female foamer. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are doing something new. And you're probably like, Lauren, it's a box. You've opened boxes before. Yes, I have opened boxes before, but the end goal of what is in said box is different. And to help explain, future Lauren will appear now. I'm here in the Athearn booth, and you're gonna be seeing a little more on the channel upcoming. Also in the video you're about to watch when this rolls. But I am now an Athearn affiliate, so I'm gonna be reviewing some products, and I've never reviewed an engine, so this is gonna be fun. Okay, so first we're gonna open this box. I do know what's kind of in the box. I know one of the things for sure in the box. I don't know about the other things, so let's take a look. So Athearn emailed me and we're like, "Hey, do you wanna review a locomotive?" And I was like, "Sure." I have never reviewed a locomotive before in my life, so this is where the new part comes in, and you're all gonna have to bear with me. But also for funsies, they sent two boxcars that they had in stock, and so I knew I was getting boxcars, but I don't know what roads. So let's take a look with them first, because gotta save the best part for last, right? I mean, if you don't want to watch this, you could totally scroll to the locomotive if you want. If you want, just saying. So first boxcar, UMP. I'm not familiar with that. Upper, I think it's Marion in Plymouth. And this is a 50-foot single door. Looks like steel box car. Hopefully the camera is focusing. We have box car. There is the tag. It's very orange. Oh, it has a great top. This is a nice model. Closer look. I'll do some up close product shots and enter them in. So I'm gonna need to do some research because I am not familiar with this road at all. So I guess I'll be back with more information. So I have my handy dandy little sheet here that came with the announcement of these cars. These are from the mid 70s. They're 70s era, bright colors, of course. That makes sense. It seems like a 70s thing. Um, ooh, grab irons, nickel silver wheels. That's cool. So it sounds like I did some reading on the internet, and it sounds like Upper Marion and Plymouth was a railroad that serviced some steel mills in Pennsylvania. It was a little short line that serviced steel mills. So that's fun. Second boxcar. So it's Rock Island, but it's in bankruptcy Rock Island. But here's the weird thing: it's marked for C&W. I'm confused. I'm very confused. Here's the edge of the box. I know general information about C&W and Rock Island, but I don't know a lot of specific details about C&W and Rock Island. I do have a friend that is a C&W modeler. There's the car. I'll do some up close shots. But I'm in the land of confusion because why is it marked for both? Okay, so I consulted my C&W friend, and as the Rock was going bankrupt, of course, you know, bankruptcy era, bankruptcy blue, that logo, everything. After the Rock went bankrupt, C&W bought a ton of cars from them, and they didn't repaint them. They just put their herald on it and numbered them and ran them. And my friend has several other types of cars in the similar appearance. So that's cool to know. Did not know that happened. Fascinating. Okay, now the important part, what everyone is probably here for. The locomotive. Okay, so I had a choice of locomotives, and one was way newer, and the other one was 50s era. And of course, I'm going to choose the 50s era because that is closer to what I am modeling. I'm kind of modeling 30s, 40s, 50s. I haven't narrowed it down. I know I should narrow it down, but because like I love early steam, but I'm getting off track here. Does not matter. We're here to look at a locomotive. Okay, that was really aggressive. I shouldn't have thrown that box. I'm sorry, box. Okay, this is I've never had like a super brand new locomotive. So nice, beautiful blue box. Athearn Genesis. So this is a Canadian Pacific FP7 passenger. It is numbered 4067, and it's DCC with Tsunami 2. I've never had a locomotive like this. I'm so excited. But let's take a look-sees. Very nice box. So I'm gonna do my best. I definitely will probably have to stop, come back, and do some researching because I am, if you know me well, you know I am a steam person. And so I am more familiar with how steam engines are made and how they work versus diesel. And I do like diesel. I mean, obviously I like steam more, but I do love older diesel, and I will always love an F unit. F units are gorgeous, and I'm very pleased with it. But so yeah, you're just gonna bear with me as we're gonna go through this review together. So you open the box, there's tons and tons of paperwork. Quick start guide. Decoder features, sound features. That's going to be very helpful since I don't know what I'm doing. Here's kind of the breakdown sheet. Of course, marketing. And here is the operator's manual and sound guide. I'm really digging this like blue and gold. Handling and maintenance, DC and sound, DCC and sound, I should say. Okay. I'll read through that later. Off to the side. Voila. Take the foam off. It is very nicely securely. I'm not worried about this having been damaged in transit. Though, to be fair, it didn't have to go very far. Like Illinois, Iowa, that's a hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, yes, it did go further in its initial transit. Besides the point. Okay. Let's take it out. So this is a Canadian Pacific engine. Specifically, the ones that were featured in this run were built in 52 by EMD, not GMD, EMD. Built in 52. I did do some interneting on this locomotive number specifically. I wanted to see. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I wanted to learn more about this specific one. This is really, I think this is probably one of the most detailed models I've had before. We're gonna get up close shots, of course, but right now this is just me ogling at it for the first time. I'm gonna set it back in for right now. So this unit in particular, it was in this paint scheme until about the early 70s, and then it was painted into the red scheme. And there's photos of it on like the railroad picture archive. I'm not gonna post them in the video because they're under copyright and I don't want to mess with all of that. But if you can look it up for yourself, you can look up CP4067, and this engine in particular looked like it did a mix of passenger service and freight service. And as I said, in the 70s, it went from this scheme to the red scheme. And I will say, this scheme is so much nicer. I like this scheme a lot better. I'm not a fan of the whole triangle half circle logo thing. That's weird. Also, the hatching on not my favorite. This is definitely the superior I think look for these FP7s. I have never seen a Canadian Pacific FP7. I have seen one of the Canadian Pacific FP9s in this paint scheme actually. I'll insert a clip of it. When I went to see the Empress for the final Spike tour, they had one of the FP9s in that consist. But yeah, now we're gonna go into more details, and I am gonna test run this and figure out how it works. I'm not used to working with DCC. This is all new. Fascinating. I had to look up, so I have the sheet with me, my cheat sheet. So as I said, came in fall of 52. It has the winterization hatch. I had to look up what that was because I'm not super familiar with the design. And apparently there's an extra trim piece for the yellow stripe behind the cab doors. Ew, that's cool. Funsies. Oh no, I should have. Time to test it out. As I said, I've never really done DCC, so I had to learn how to get it all set up. And I visited a local club in Des Moines that my friend is a part of, and they let me test out my new engine. I did have to lower the volume settings, so its factory settings for me personally were super loud, so I did turn it down a bit, and then I ran it around light before putting a load on it. Giving a nice long set of cars.
What my thought was, what if it was a camera, because then it could have one of them.
Yeah. Or you insert random. Try and get
So it did struggle a little bit by itself. It was pulling 20 NMRA rated cars up a 2% grade on the Helix. It did make it though, so I'd say that's pretty good for a single A unit. Hey guys, so as I just realized I was editing and I realized I never ended my review. Like I ran it at the club and then we left for Amherst that week and things have just been crazy since Amherst. So my final thoughts. I didn't take it out of the box, but it's a beautiful locomotive. I am very pleased. It's probably one of the most detailed locomotives I've ever had, minus my brass model that Kendall got me for Christmas. It's one of the nicest models I've ever had. You know, I'm used to buying the cheap ones at the train shows. And this is my first model with DCC, so that was a new adventure. Didn't know how to set it up, didn't know how to do any of that, so took some reading of the manual. I would say the engine did really well, hauling 20 NMRA weighted cars up a 2% grade by itself. I mean, it did struggle a little bit, but normally, I mean, most people run multiple engines on a consist when they're pulling a train, so likely you'd have an ABE, or maybe you want an ABA or ABBA, ABBA. So you'd likely be running multiple engines, and I'm very pleased. If you want more information, because I'm filming this later past Amherst, all of that, Jim from Athearn has done a train talk Tuesday on the FP7s. I think it was last week's or the week before, and so I will link that, the YouTube upload down below, so if you want more information on the FP7s, and he goes into the different road names that they have available currently, so you can check that out. He also goes into more detail about this guy right here. So I'll include that. Also, my affiliate link will be down below, so if you want to check out the FP7s and support me, you can do that. I think it's an awesome engine. I now have two of them because at Amherst I obtained the Milwaukee. So I really I want to get a second set of the Milwaukee ones so I can have an ABBA and then I can put it to ABBA. The Gen Z in me. I think that'd be really funny. But yes, highly recommend the FP7s. Again, thank you to Athearn for reaching out to me and taking a chance. Haha, ABBA, take a chance. They took a chance on me, and here we are. I hope this wasn't a terrible review. I know I definitely have room for improvement, but hey, we all gotta start somewhere, right? And thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. I should be posting more updates soon on my train room layout, YouTube studio room that's being constructed in my basement. Hopefully have some fun things planned for the spring. Still working out some things. I will be at the Davenport Train Show if you are in the Quad Cities area. I'll be at the Davenport Train Show March 28th. So a little over a month from now, or less depending when you watch this. And I think that's it. Keep on steaming. Also, there's some bloopers for right after. So if you want to watch me being silly, stick around. I'm gonna take over your little corner for a second. You're going already? Okay. So Athearn emailed me, and Athearn. Starting over. I should fix this, 'cause I don't know what I did.